somebody was sending. I got one check off my co-host and then I missed the next one. I should number them. Okay, so welcome to my room. Let's get this party started. I am Natalie Peterson, done riffing about all things me, except for just a few more seconds so I can make some introductions. I am chief shit stirrer upper around here. After 50 years on the planet and I don't know, 37 out and about without supervision, I am decidedly trying on this. I am a mentor in the mental and spiritual health space out of necessity and now my full blast passion for life. I think it feels good. I think I might stick to that. I have multiple brands. I've got Healing Curious Humans, who are my tribe of just crazy misfits and passionate storytellers who are coming out of everywhere to join me on this book project that I've launched. The first thing I signed up for after I quit corporate on my 50th birthday and decided I was going to go just blow shit up another round and do it on my terms. Think Out Loud with Me started as a podcast. It's now a platform on which I'm growing my dream life of speaking and influencing on a bigger stage. And I've got a bunch of things going. Woohoo! And then Sonic, like, y'all have rocked my world. I know it's not you. I know that you are the you are the messenger, but I'm buzzing some Sonic, and I'm not like. What's funny to me is that in all of my 50 years to still be thinking, gosh, I hope nobody thinks I'm crazy for this, right? That would even be a whisper in my head at this point, after all those unsupervised years and the shit I've seen and the shit I have thrived in. Yeah. The shit that we thrive in. So this is the holy caca. This is where we do some good stuff. So I'm going to bring online. We're live to talk about something that's equal parts powerful, practical, honestly, mystical. This is sonic. This is next level. We're talking sonic meditation. Our big umbrella here, the purpose of this is to cover some tracks on the sonic meditation facilitator certification. Say that only one time and then stop and take a breath. If you've ever felt the medicine of sound just drop you back into your body with a memory or pull you out of your funk long enough to breathe for just a pulse, you know this isn't just like good vibe stuff. This is more than spa, the music, right? Although that has a place. It's calm, right? It's got a place. Don't hear me zinging on people. But this is where frequency meets purpose of like a whole nother level. So I've got the pleasure of being joined by two powerhouse humans who have built this SM. See, I can't even do it. I have to say it SMFC. 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 From the ground up. Ian Morris, founder of Listening to Smile, and Falyn Hunter Morningstar, founder of Listening to Smile, partners in crime, partners in stirring good shit up with me. Y'all are acting as a sacred bridge between science and soul. And I'm super, that's the word of the day. I've heard it so much today. It's almost, might cancel it. No, why would you do that? Take the mic, say hi. People are here for you guys, not me.
Hi, everybody. Thank you so much for being here today. Natalie, I have to say your energy is just so infectious, and it's beautiful that you're just on this speaking stage, speaking out loud. And it was cool for us to be partners with you on this journey.
I love it. I got when I have you on a group text and I'm zinging you at some godly hour of the sun's not even up yet. Yeah, we've reached another level. Uh, and Ian, are you good today? How are we finding you?
Yeah, I'm doing well. I'm excited to, bring some information about what we're going to be doing. I'm just excited. I think it's going to be really cool.
So can we just go ahead and jump into the mix? Spend a few minutes. I want to spend the bulk of the time talking about what's in it for if I'm sitting in the passenger seat of or I'm sitting in the seat of the audience. I want to know what's in it for me. So I want to spend the most time on that. But I want to set up some history first. So I was on a call yesterday with the two of you, introducing you to someone who has come on board. And what I loved, if I can, maybe you have a different, but it's my party. So, Falyn, you started and it was like this where you fit in, and then it just kind of rolled into Ian's. I loved how that came about. So if there's a good segue with that, can you play along and try that on?
Yeah.
Try it on with the repetition from yesterday.
I loved it.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. I have to say I loved it too. After I was done, I was like, damn, I said some good stuff. Each time it kind of flows and changes. So, really my background is pretty vast, right? I have business in my background, business management, master's in environmental engineering, functional health certification, certified personal trainer. And so insurance industry, there's a whole plethora of information I've kind of dipped my toes or really delved into. And it's been a cool experience because one part of me could say, I'm not doing the insurance, I'm not doing the environmental engineering as far as a traditional sense, but I have that knowledge to now relate it to people, right? That's the other part of me that said that was valuable. And so the piece that stuck with me and that I'm doing full time today is the functional health, pairing that together and how health can be this multifaceted approach, which is where that sonic meditation and nervous system regulation comes in. So with being a functional health practitioner, I do have the beautiful opportunity to support people with functional lab testing. So what does that mean? We're looking deep into your hormones, into your imbalances in your gut, imbalances in neurotransmitters, what your genetics are presenting, how we can support the body in turning on and off gene expression to support a more harmonious body and mind. We are looking into mold and mycotoxins, organic acids, right? The list can go on and on. There's probably about 150 or so different labs that I do have access to. System regulation comes in. Sorry, I just got feedback there.
You're good.
So these tests are able to uncover hidden stressors that we are not able to consciously say, hey, my testosterone is low, the H. pylori is high in my system, right? These tests are able to identify things that you're not able to do on your own. And it helps your mind feel validated that you're not crazy, there's something imbalanced here. And my job as a practitioner is to help create and lay the foundational work for you to successfully get better. So that can look like we're shifting things in the diet, we're talking about light exposure, we're implementing sonic techniques, right? Meditation to help regulate the nervous system. How can we use a somatic exercise to allow the body to feel safe again? Because a lot of the people that I work with, they have one diagnosis or several. And so it's almost like our body is, quote, failing us, right? So that unsafety feeling is coming about. And so the music is a beautiful piece. The sonic or so the somatic experiencing exercises are another beautiful piece, and really working through that is so pivotal. I went through the certification for functional health. The one piece I felt was missing was that nervous system piece, because that's where it starts, right? A lot of us are in the sympathetic, we're in this fight or flight all the time just because of our modern life, right? We can't get away from it. But how can we learn to manage it better? That is a beautiful piece that part of this certification is about, right? It does have a professional piece to it, but it's also a personal experience too, because we have 4 different experiences in this 4-day meditate or 4-day certification, where we are going through themed sonic experiences. And so each one has its own beautiful intention with it. They're about 45 to an hour long, each one, and beautiful share time. So that's really more of the personal and the professional piece to the certification, where you as a practitioner get to see how we set up the stage, how we have a safe container, how we set the intention. So I know I kind of dove right into the certification there, but my piece to it is adding in that multifaceted approach to healing, right? We're not just trying to look at a test and say this, and this is wrong. We're trying to help integrate it, like make that clinical correlation with our body, with ourself, and just be more compassionate with ourselves.
It truly is where science and spirit are aligning. Yeah, I love it.
I do too.
Thank you.
Yeah. Yeah, and I think for me, like where this all started was in 2012, 2013, being diagnosed with MS and colon cancer, starting that journey of really starting to learn about holistic health and different nervous system regulations, and just really facing the man in the mirror of like, you're not as grounded or, together as you thought you were. And, getting the signals from the body and just trying to process the trauma and the grief that was left unattended for so many years in my body. And so it started with Louise Hay book, You Can Heal Your Life, and also Mitchell Gaynor, the Healing Power of Sound book, kind of spaced out there for a second. But both of those books came into my existence awareness at the same time. And when I got into those, I just remember tearing up, crying, and not really weeping or having, it was like just tears coming out. And my body was responding to the resonance of truth, like the things that I was really resonating with that were, coming out through tears, because I think I was just disconnected from my emotions and my body in such a way. So that's when I started, getting into it more, listening to binaural beats, putting on headphones every day, learning how to meditate with a person, myself, that didn't want to sit still. I was like, 20 minutes, I got to sit here for 20 minutes, geez. So my brain was constantly going. I'm an artist, musician, poet. So my brain's like, wants to create, wants to move. So it was really challenging. But what I found was when I would allow myself to sit with binaural beats and the headphones, there was this peace that came over me to where I really did start having tearful, just grief coming out of me. And that lasted for probably 6 months straight every day. Just tons of emptying out that took place. And one of the things I remember the most was just sitting in the quiet of the storm. I would feel all the to-do list. I would feel all the things that I wanted to get done in the day, but they weren't having the effect that they were previously without the meditation. And so that's one of the first things I noticed was, wow, okay, this is working. I'm going to, go deeper with this. And so I started learning about breath work, about different forms of meditation, and then just really applying it with music. And I think what really changed it for me was a lot of this stuff was coming from YouTube. And there was times where I would change channels or make different selections, and I would feel these darker energies, almost like something was trying to infiltrate my body. That's kind of how I felt like I was violated, emotionally or in my mind. And I would just say, well, that's really interesting feeling that's coming up. And I would start trying to do research on these channels, like who's making this music and where is this coming from? And I think I have kind of a healthy distrust of the government and different companies and corporations. And so just from a lot of the knowledge and things that I have, educated myself on before, I started going down the rabbit hole of trying to find out more about the founders of YouTube and the people who are running the programming and just even the channels individually. And there wasn't as much transparency as I would have liked. And I think that's really what kind of kickstarted me moving into the company Listening to Smile was I wanted to create music that people could meet the person who made it. They could have conversations, they could, ask questions, but they could also see the transparency. I wanted to make sure that I was putting out every piece of information that I could about the music, about why, the intention, all the different things that we were doing. And so that's really what kind of gave birth to Listening to Smile was wanting to be transparent, wanting to have connection with the listener, wanting to help people that were in places that were similar to where I was and to really grow that into something that was more meaningful than what was being offered in the world at the time. So
I have something to add to that, if you don't mind.
No, please.
So when I first got into holistic health, originally it was more of the fitness background, right? I was into powerlifting, bodybuilding training, and then my health was declining. And getting into functional health was pivotal for me, not just because of the testing, but because I opened my mind up to meditation. At first, I was very closed off to it. I was like, I'm not going to sit here just like Ian. I'm not going to sit here. I was just this go, go, go type of person. Once I gave it a chance and I started with YouTube, right? I would just do a 5-minute guided meditation. Otherwise, I couldn't really focus, right? I needed somebody to voice to me what to visualize. That expanded into 10 minutes, 20 minutes. It expanded into not needing a voice, just being able to, like Ian just said, sit in the quiet of the storm. And so, funny enough, I was an avid podcast listener. I heard of Ian on the Paul Chek podcast. And so when Ian sharing that he wanted some transparency with YouTube, I was like, this guy is very transparent. I mean, this guy is heart-centered. It's intriguing to know how standard tuned music can be different than tuned to 444 hertz, 432, why that's important. And I was like, I need to get my hands on this. So while I was getting my practitioner certification, I was really nudged. It felt like it was nudged by people, but I think it was the universe nudging people to nudge me to say, you need to use your voice more. You need to support people in the meditative space. You can talk about your experience, right? The experience of the expansion of not being open to that at all to being an avid user of meditation and music. So integrating the frequency minded music was pivotal in my own health, but also pivotal in my one-on-one client experiences, because as soon as the music would come on, people would be like, oh my gosh, or like a tear would come out, maybe a sigh or shoulders would drop. And I was like, there's really something to this music because it is this coziness to it. Although there are some heavier tracks that stir up some more emotion, it has a transparency and a loving heart to it because the intention was set to be that way.
We'll move into the practical parts of the certification. But I just want to put a pin in something that you said earlier, and that is that you made a distinction between personal and then professional. And I can't do one without the other any longer. I think like anybody that's going to take this certification their lives are going to change. In the book project chapter writing world, the chapters heal us, they heal us as they work us. and surrounding ourselves in like this level of energy is, yeah, just like sign me up. It's like solar flare level. My fire alarms are going off. Can you hear them? It's crazy. Let's talk about practical stuff. The folks they land at DIA, they're coming into high elevation, they're expecting all kinds of highness. And we're going to take them to a level of just next level love. The experience on the front end, did you hear that? Is you can't, that's good. The experience on the front end still has a lot of details to be worked out as we stand things up, but we've really great venue that you can't hear me? Oh,
I
okay.
can hear you. I can't hear the
I
background.
can't hear the background.
Okay, good.
Yeah.
The venue itself is well situated for us to have both the 4 experiences. I call them floor work, right? Where we're literally in the work and in the soup. And then practical application, integration, like what the heck just happened, work where we're, in community and that level of thinking, as well as some really awesome socializing around all of this and some sprinkling in of, wow, look at this as it applies in the yoga world. Look at this, how it applies in the, retail world. Like, I have a construction company. What the heck do I do? Like, what? Why would I ever talk about Sonic in my construction company? So let's get to the part where we get to what's in it for me. Whoever wants to take the mic, and you all have been the absolute just standing this puppy up over many, many years. So what's in it for me?
Yeah, so I think traditional sound certifications are really teaching people to host events, and those events are geared towards them, earning income and then giving tools to the community. And I think for me, like, what really comes to mind is an acoustic guitar player, right? So if I go to a coffee shop and see an acoustic guitar player, no matter how good they are, with the way life is, if there's no extra connections to this person, you're going to forget, because we have social media scrolls, we have tons, we're just flooded. Like, the stats that say that in one day we're getting more information than a person 100 years ago would have had in their entire lifetime, and we're getting that in one day. And so with that kind of stimulation, you have to really create something that is memorable. And so what we've tried to do the best of our ability is to create something that we call subtly epic, meaning that when someone goes to like a music festival like Bonnaroo or, Burning Man or whatever it is, they have all these experiences, all these people that they're meeting, and they're all similarly in a like-minded state, coming for the same thing: entertainment, connection, networking, fun times, all that. So what we've tried to do is create experiences that are not just events. There's things that our practitioners are going to learn through these experiences, that there's a variety of online and in-person events that you can host. And these are really the first touch points in the community. So the whole program is laid out to show a person from step A to, step Z, which is, how can I take my passion, which is helping people and giving tools to my community, to be the next level of, supporting me full time, going into growing a community, going into having extra touch points, revenue streams, and extra tools that you're connecting with a person. Because typically what happens is, whether you have a human design reading or a Reiki session or a sound session, most of the people have some type of effect that comes over them, and they say, man, that was great. And then they get home and they start unpacking, processing, and it's like, what now? What do I do now? I feel this very strongly. So we want our practitioners to be able to be mentors in their community and to build something that is more sustainable than just a one-off event. And so that's really what the focus of this certification is it's teaching people about sound and frequency. It's giving them resource and tools that they can have for years to come. And then it's giving them blueprints of how to move forward in that, which is the personal side, the professional side, and also more of the business template side, which is kind of how to grow this into a larger way that is feeding you and helping you to create more of what you love to do.
When you think about the folks that have come through this program to date, what's the craziest place that you have frequency-minded music? And then before you do that, can you explain frequency-minded music?
Yeah, so frequency-minded music we trademarked. We wanted it to set itself apart from traditional entertainment-based music because all of the intention is really focused on release work and healing. And I would say about 97% of the catalog is focused on instrumental music. And the reason that I like instrumental music is because it can be utilized in so many different ways. You can put it on your podcast, you can put it on videos, you can play it at, on hold music, lobby music, you can use it in sessions with people. There's so many different ways that you can use the music when it's instrumental, and I call it superposition. When you put a person, a style of vocal or lyrics to a song, you're taking it from superposition and you're locking it into a specific theme of some kind. And so I think like if you give a person an instrument, if you give a group of people instrumental music, there's going to be all these different experiences to that. When I put a lyricist on there that's singing a song that's happy or a song that's sad, then you're taking people into a locked position. So I love that frequency music is mostly instrumental. I love that it can be used in so many different ways. And then I love that we're working with body organ frequencies, chakra frequencies in 3 different tunings, as well as planetary frequencies. And then we're really working with, the beats per minute and also song structure. So what we're doing is to move stagnant energy in the body. That is always the focus, is release work and healing. And just to help people relax the nervous system and to actually see this is a tool or a soundtrack for the pause that all of us need to take more of, right? And so that's really, to me, what frequency-minded music is. And then what was the other thing that you said? I'm sorry.
I don't remember my own questions.
Somebody's experience.
Oh, yeah,
that's the most profound experience.
That's why I hang out with people like you, because that, like, I don't remember what I ask. That's why we're recording.
Usually that's me, though.
Yeah.
No, oh, good.
You want to go?
No, she's asking you to share like somebody's profound experience when they went through this.
Okay. Well, there's a couple things.
I would
The two that stand out the most is actually one person that was a affiliate. They never went through the certification process, but it was Tennille Bentley, who started off as an affiliate using our music. And for probably 3 years, utilized our music until it inspired her to start. She was a piano player and classically trained. And when she started our program, she was sharing our music with her personally. She had a big experience with it. And then she got into using it with her community and just all these breakthroughs with people that she was working with. And so it really called her to come back to music. So she started playing the cello, teaching herself how to play, and playing other instruments and getting into using her voice more and playing piano. And so now she has created, years later, a documentary about the 432 tuning. It's a movie called Does Sound Heal? You can look it up. It's amazing. It's an amazing movie. And she started with our program and then, started, creating music on her own. And it's just really a beautiful thing. And then the second thing I would say is Will and Allison that are based in Charleston, South Carolina. They had attended one of our events and they were just so blown away by the experience and the music and the way it was facilitated with the, the speakers, surround sound speakers, and they had an experience and they, to this day, we're still friends with them. And this was probably like 2015, I would say, somewhere 2015, 2016 maybe. And they were both school teachers, and they had such a profound experience that it really encouraged them or invited them to step out to do their passion. So they started weaning themselves off of their full-time jobs and getting into learning about Reiki and getting into channeling and getting into more spiritual arts. And so now they're full-time running their own holistic center. They've left those positions and they're started their own community, and they use our music. And then Will is now a part of our monthly albums. He's contributing each month on that with video and audio. And so it's amazing to see the transformations of people who are just subjected, I say subjected, but just have that first initial contact with the music and then watching the evolution. And so the certification is just such a deep dive into frequency and into how can I utilize this to actually create a business and actually sustain and build a community from that. And that's really, I just think it's just really neat to see people just in the initial stages, changed. And like you said earlier, people who come to this certification, it does change them. I mean, like Aaron's in the crowd now, and just seeing, like I was telling you the story when I first met Erin, she became an affiliate of ours, and she was just very quiet and back in the shadows and, just observing. And then little by little, she started coming up, and then she would have questions. But when she came to the certification, that's when, for me, I watched massive change in Erin. She was like more outgoing, and it's probably who she is. I just didn't know that, you know what I'm saying? But it's like watching the evolution of her interacting with the community more, getting more fired up, and she was just doing a lot more things that seemed like it was in alignment with her passion. And maybe it gave her the courage, going through that process to step into other things, and just watching her evolve was just such a cool process. So, there are a lot of stories, but I think it's really individualized to each person as to what that outcome will be.
Yeah.
The ultimate reason why I wanted to have the music was because of its uniqueness, right? Using the music. I also wanted to have the legal rights to use the music in a commercial setting, which is part of the piece that folks get with the certification too. But when I was using it for myself, one of the largest areas that I wanted support with was the throat chakra or the thyroid space, just because, there's some clinical correlation with hypothyroidism or even autoimmune Hashimoto's. And there's a lot of women that I work with that have subclinical issues with the thyroid, not feeling safe enough to express oneself, use one's voice, just staying small. And so with a lot of the work that I do as a practitioner, I think what's cool is that I'm not only standing beside Ian as far as the founder, but also using it as a practitioner, which is going to be majority of the people that are coming to the certification. So being able to facilitate support with minerals for our thyroid health, but also support it with sound. So, the throat chakra, using songs or tracks that are geared towards that. So there's an energetic component and there's a physical component coming together. That's what makes it even more unique than a traditional practitioner, right? So I just say that because this is an enhancement to the gifts that you're already doing for the world.
Yeah, it really is. And I think that takes me back to my personal professional thing. The first time I plugged you all into my ears, I sat down to write. I get up in an obscenely early hour, and my best hours are, between 4 and 5. And I plugged them in, and I was like, wrote something. I think I sent it to you, Ian. I didn't know you very well. And I was like, hope it didn't just cross the line, but there's what spit out of me. And it was like, what just spit out of me? And then, with every, then I got a hold of my favorite one in the morning that I dance to. I tell Tiffany, I'm like, get up and dance, girl. It's a hold the frequency kind, like, let's do this. Hold the frequency. It stands me up out of I dance, putting my hair, like, it's got me. And it is a good is a good energy. And then I see it, I think in the same way, you know, Erin and I spent some time together setting this, looking around and just setting our own energy and intentions as, you know, being feet on the street out here in Colorado. And like, what is the, you know, bringing people into this experience and knowing that it's going to affect them personally, and then teaching them how to affect their business and put it out there. I do everything by dandelion metaphor anymore, like blossom and frickin' bloom struck. That's what I'm going to call it, right? It's like, it's not just about the full bloom. It's about then the like the full bloom, right? That where do we take this? And that you all are helping me. I'm partnering with you. I'm hosting you. And I am like tickled to death because I'm like hostess with the mostess. We've got 4 days of immersive training. You can see what I'm doing here, right? I'm summarizing so I can go off live. Because I want to get to a couple questions by folks, but I want to get this on live for everybody, that what we're talking about is a 4-day immersive training. It's, excuse me, it's a core certification package for becoming a certified sonic meditation facilitator. It's got some really key benefits. It's got some really key pieces of value. I am out here, Erin's out here, we're all out here hustling up bullet points I can add to this page with how I tend to do things is like dump and then watch the tide rise and then party in the water. That's how I'm wired. So I am like, in terms of adding to this experience and bringing you all into Loveland and hosting an experience for the folks, we now have 30 spots left. They so they are normally priced at $3,100. They're $2,900 through me because I'm special. And there's certain pieces that are built into that. If we could just leave on kind of the, you know, summarize with me this opportunity. And then let's hit pause and go off live, say bye to that, and just answer any other questions that might be bubbled up.
Okay. I think one thing it's important to address is that most certifications are interesting to me because when I look at them from a business person, like if I was going to do that, I would want to know what is my ROI and how can I get that ROI. And I think a lot of certifications that I have seen in my lifetime are really geared towards just getting you certified and then you're really on your own after that. It's like it costs $4,000, it costs $5,000. And it's like, well, you know, do you have assistance in helping me with tickets and shows, or how are we doing this to get this money back? And so I think from my standpoint, I really, when I'm looking at this certification, it takes a lot as facilitators to hold space for 4 days and to give people things that have taught you, you know, taken you 10 to 15 years to culminate and put into one location. So there is a value in that, but also I think from the other standpoint, being on the other side of the certification, it's like, how can I take this and earn an income? And what I think is sound healing is one of the fastest growing in the health industry right now. You're starting to see it infiltrate into pharmaceuticals. It's going into supplements. It's going into chocolate. It's going into cheese. So you're seeing it into sports products. You're seeing it into yoga studios, meditation studios. It's growing very fast, and everyone, the key hit word is frequency. Everyone's using it, but there's very few people that know how to utilize it truly and then build something from that. And I think that if you can, as a practitioner, see that a majority of sonic meditation ticket prices around the country and even the world are priced around $40 to $75 US. And so when you're like looking at it from a different practitioner standpoint, there's not a lot of tickets for the amount of time that you're doing that are in that same alignment. And then when you start building community where you're getting 20, 30, 40 people coming to these events, and then you learned how through the certification to engage people, talk to people, and build with other products and services, whether that's courses, whether that's workshops, whether that's expanded, PDF experiences, which they'll learn about at the certification. There's tons of different things that they can do to get a return on investment. And I feel like it's much more lucrative in this certification to lay out that ROI than a majority of the other certifications that I've seen. And so we've consciously tried to make that a sweetened deal because we want people to be successful. Because if they're successful and they're working with us on a year-to-year basis, we have more support and alignment, not only for us as a business, but also for them and their communities. And so that's where real change happens. And that's really what all of us, I think, are looking for, is the change that we have found through these different modalities that have helped us as healers. We want to share, and we want to help other people that are down and out or having hard times or just don't have the awareness. And so I think that's an important part of this certification to take note of.
I always ask, what am I not asking? And that would have been it. So your ESP was on. You're a fellow ET. So oneqr.com/sonic is where I've got information. And I just want to wrap this part of the live stream. For those of you already in the Zoom room with us, we'll shift into a dedicated live Q&A for a few minutes if you have any questions. So, but this has all been real talk, no slides, no hard sell. Done with that part of my life. That was unsupervised and fantastic. And I learned so much, and I've learned that I don't want to do it that way anymore. But this has been the way I want to do things, and it's been great. And I appreciate everybody that joined me and the folks. We've had multiple folks buzzing in and out, watching live. I'll chop this up into some yummy bits that folks can consume on their own time, because that's what we do these days as well. But just thank you for thinking out loud with me live where folks could do that. And thanks in advance for, we're going to have so much fun. I'm so excited to run around with you. Stirring good shit up. That's what I'm on this planet to do. So so thank you. Thank you. Okay. I'm going to keep it recording in case we get any fantastic questions. That was fun. Thank you, everybody. Unmuting. Yes, you can. If anybody wants to pop on, Erin, say hi if you want to. Tiffany's enrolled. Tammy has been nodding and smiling with butterflies, and Tammy's a new acquaintance for me, but we've been exchanging and feeling each other's vibe. So if you've got any live questions or thoughts, reactions, lay them on us.
I don't really have any questions. I just wanted to say that everything you were saying is resonating, and I know that this is an alignment for me as a practitioner to move forward. And so I'm just so excited, and even more so now, to come to Loveland and work with you and just see how sound is healing me. Natalie has definitely got me on your soundtracks, and they have been moving stuff for me, and I'm really on this health journey right now. So everything you were saying, I was like, oh, yes. So I just wanted to kind of just give you like a little bit of like encouragement and insight from that. So thank you for showing up.
Yeah, thanks for sharing that. We're excited to meet you.
Yeah, you all will not get along at all. It's going to be awful. It's going to be awful. I just can't even, this whole thing. It's just a shitstorm. Erin, what were you going to pop on and say, please? Beautiful. You look like you have a halo.
I know, it's my little backyard oasis out here. I love it. actually enjoying the sun for, it's been a while since the sun has been here for some reason, which is weird. But I just wanted to pop on and say hi. I just wanted to kind of check in with everybody and just be here. I'm here and he's here too. Hello.
I love eavesdroppers. Shout out, oh, I meant to do this. Oh, I was being so clever. So, but I'm recording it. Shout out to my son. He taped a towel over the fire alarm. He's so smart. He couldn't, he's like, Mom, he's looking at me right here. I don't know if you saw me. He's like, I can't find a battery, Mom. I'm like, I'm posting a podcast, Cody. Can you figure out what's going on? Trying to look normal. He taped a towel over it. He's so
Aw.
smart. I'm like, Tammy, do you have any questions for anybody on this screen in front of you, sister?
I don't have, I just really enjoyed the presentation, and I've been hearing about frequency for a long time, so I'm definitely intrigued. And I know a lot of healers, so I'm thinking this would be a good thing to connect people with.
Yeah.
Little
Could
tip.
I could
What's
I
that?
could I talk on what she just said?
Yeah.
Yeah, so just so it's clear, like if you were to, if this felt in alignment and you were to do the certification is coming with two things, okay? So one thing is you're getting certified, you can put credentials at the end of your name. And what's really interesting about the credentials is most people will say, what is that? And then when you explain to them, they're like, oh, that's interesting. I want to try that out, right? So it's like what we hear from a lot of the people. So, but one of the things that I think is neat is that you're getting a 1 year. So you're getting certified, you're going through the certification process, then you're getting a $777 value membership for an entire year that comes with it. And so if like you just said, I know a lot of people that would be into this kind of thing. Basically, we have created a thing that we call gratitude payments, which is, it's not a push for you to be a multi-level marketer. It just means that if it comes up that you can share this with people and they are into it and they want to sign up, then you're making money off of it. So it's a way that if 3 people, is it 3 people? Yeah, 3 people in a year sign up with you, it basically pays for your yearly membership. And so that yearly membership comes with the ability to resell the music to your community and clients. It comes with the ability to make videos and podcasts and different things with the music while you're an affiliate. And then you have the ability to create, which is the only thing that's an upsell to the program, is you can create your own white label products with our music, which is like guided meditations, coaching, sessions, different things like that, courses, things like that you can create for extra revenue. But then anybody that comes to your events that you're hosting, and that can be in your living room, it could be at a yoga studio, wherever you choose that to be. But if they're like, man, I really like this music, it's been really fun, and I want to use this with my yoga studio, if they sign up through you, you're getting a kickback. So 3 of those in 1 year pays for your subscription with the yearly membership. And so a lot of people like that element, is it doesn't take you selling 20, 30 people a year, it's 3, so it's like, it's something that a lot of practitioners find comfortable. And the most that we've ever had a person do in 1 day, and I like telling the story, is there was a affiliate that said, do you remember the Tupperware parties? And I said, yeah, my mom used to do that, And so she said, well, this was her first event. She brought 10 people to her living room and just used a little speaker, but she was a Reiki and she did yoga. So she did a guided meditation with her group and then did a little bit of Reiki while the music was playing. And then she shared with them, hey, if you guys sign up for this with me today, you get $100 off. And then you guys can do what I just did here. You can do with your people and you can use this music. And she said, this is how I'm using it personally for me. And this is how I'm using it in my business. And if you guys buy this, you get $100 off, and then you're supporting me because I'm getting money from each sale. So out of the 10 people that came to her event, 6 of them signed up that day for an affiliateship. And so she more than paid for, her membership in 1 event. And so I think that that's what makes this certification really different, is you can't do that as a yoga teacher. It's like when a certification for yoga costs anywhere from 2,500 to $5,000, and then you're teaching people at $12, $14 a head, and then the yoga studio is taking half of that, or set, whatever the arrangement is. So it's a harder ROI. And I think that this is just really neat that there's extra revenue streams that are involved in the process. So I just wanted to make sure you knew that.
And I'll add just real quick, like the licensing of the music, I think is really important too, because even like if we are using any sort of music inside of our business, right, we have to have the rights to use the music. It's not legal to use Spotify playlists or, whatever have you, even YouTube, and like asking people for money. So that's part of what is included too. And I know I mentioned that on the call, but I think we didn't hammer that home, as that is a critical piece.
Yeah, it is a critical piece. That is a soundbite I will pull out most deaf. I'll be like, that's a snippet that needs to go on the reel. Yes. Because that is a big deal that folks don't understand. And yeah, I've heard enough stories in circles, and especially as sound comes further and further online.
Yeah, as it moves to that platform.
Just because it streams don't mean it ain't streaming free out there for you. And then back to what I was saying earlier, just personal to professional. This is and we were talking about this yesterday with Ariana, that this is about being integrity in your business. So looking at everything throughout and making sure that it's all in alignment. So, when I threw out the construction company, that it is the hold music, that you've decided to invest in the subscription and listening to Smile frequency-minded music rather than the hyped up Spotify, because you want to put the money where, thank you, Tammy. Thank you. That you want to support just from a baseline principle of your business, that your hold music is sourced by folks that are doing right by artists and whatnot. Is the short answer to what do I even do at a construction business? It's your hold music. End of story, period. Right? What other questions, last questions? And I'll stop recording. Tiffany, now we're all just a big love fest because everybody's on board, so I'm going to stop.